Hey, it's Hazy Tarot here, and I'm going to do a tarot card reading for Cancer for the month of June. Now, I do it a little bit differently than most tarot card readers. I still do all the dealing of the cards and saying their meanings and all of that, but I give you a chance to get an extra card for yourself at the end to make it a bit more personal. So, if you like the video and subscribe, just comment below asking for another card, and if you want, you can tell me what you want it to be about, whether it's career or love or anything like that. And I'll draw a card from the deck and explain to you what it means and how it's relevant to your life. So, in saying that, let's get this underway. So I think last month I did 8 cards. This month I'm doing a 10 card reading just to add a little bit more accuracy in there. So, firstly, we have a card which means something that will be growing stronger this month. Now, we've got the Hermit here, and this isn't a hermit that sort of just, lives on his own and just sits in his house in like the country somewhere, just never talking to anybody. This is someone who is sort of limiting human interaction, but they're out there exploring, they're learning, they're just making the most out of life, they're just doing it by themselves. So, in saying that, this month, that feeling inside you of sort of maybe wanting to be away from people a bit more is probably going to be a bit stronger. But this is going to be a positive thing, because if you sort of distance yourself from people a little bit more, it sort of gives you more time to sort of concentrate on other things that maybe you've been missing out on in your life, or maybe that you should have been sort of concentrating on, but other people have maybe distracted you from them. It's not saying just to be like a total hermit and not see anyone, but just realize that you don't need to spend all your time with people, and do sort of use that feeling of wanting to be alone to good use. And if you're already a type of person to stay alone, then maybe that feeling will be just keep growing stronger. But also the feeling to actually want to learn and gain more knowledge is going to sort of improve as well. So you'll be trying to learn new things, trying to better your life, and that's a good start for this month. Next, we have a card that represents a ripe opportunity in your life. Now, as we can see here, we've got the 10 of Cups. So we see here a happy family. Everything's going right for them, everything is well done. Now, maybe in your life, not everything is going perfectly to plan. Most people's life is not. But this month, maybe you'll see a sight like that that will inspire you. Maybe you've forgotten about how happy life can really make you. Maybe you're going through a negative slump at some point in time this month, and seeing something like that is just going to make you happy again. It's going to inspire you to sort of want the best for yourself. So that's going to be a good thing. It also sort of represents an opportunity to sort of distance yourself from the petty emotions, like just sort of jealousy and sort of bitterness, and just people who are just like, they're not really like trying to make the most out of the life. They're just sort of trying to like bring people down. This is a sign just to sort of get rid of that and just to concentrate on all the good feelings and try and spread positivity to other people. So that's a good card to get there as well. So this is something that's going to be fading this month. Now, as we can see, it's the 3 of Wands. We've got a traveller overlooking the ocean at sunset, just wondering whether he should continue his journey or not. He's reached the point of no return here. So it seems like you've sort of started a journey and you've reached sort of a waypoint there where it's whether you want to really fully commit to this or not, and you're not really sure at this point. This is sort of saying that that opportunity to actually go through with it is possibly fading away this month. So if you are taking a long time to sort of make a decision about something that's actually important to you, and you're sort of putting it off, then now is the time to actually get onto that and actually make a decision about it. You can't just sit around waiting forever and hoping someone makes a decision for you, or just hoping things will work out. you've got to actually go for it. And this is a sign this month. Go for it before you lose it. This last card, this is a unique experience that brings insight. So, we have the Knight of Wands here. And this is going to represent a travel opportunity this month. Well, okay, it's going to, yeah, it's gonna, like, maybe not actually travel this month, but it's going to sort of give you the opportunity to, like, plan to travel at some later point in the future. And this is representing, this is like a big journey. Since this is the Knight of Wands, a Knight of Wands is sort of like the crazy, like, passionate one of the knights, and it's a chance for you to go on like a crazy passionate journey somehow. Like, maybe you'll just sort of see someone else, like maybe you'll see someone's photos from their trip, or just someone tells you a story about a trip, and it'll just inspire you to actually want to do it. Maybe try something like a new trip that you've never tried before. And maybe that's not within your capabilities at the moment, but it's maybe going to ignite a spark, and maybe you can sort of plan it for the future, or like put it in the back of your mind and just realize that one day I want to do something like that. So that's another thing to look forward to this month. Okay, moving on next, we're going to do one card for every week of the month. So, the first week of the month, we have the Tower card. Now, this is one of the more frightening cards in the deck that can frighten some people, but it's not that bad. You got to look at life as, when negative things or bad things happen, that it's going to be a positive to it. And even if something happens that makes you feel weaker, it's going to make you stronger in the long term, if you keep a mindset like that. Now, with the Tower card, we can see the lightning striking the tower, and these people are just jumping out of it, because who's going to stay in a tower that's on fire? So, it sort of means that something's going to bring you to a sharp realization that's just going to change your whole outlook on something. So, maybe you've just been believing in something like for a long time or your whole life, and you're just like happily content with that, blah blah blah, you're just going along with it, and then something out of nowhere happens and it just changes how you look at this whole thing. Like some undiscovered information might show up or something like that, just something that you never expected to happen is going to happen, and it's going to change things completely. It might not change like anything physically like that. Maybe it's just going to change how you think of things in your head. But this is going to be a big change. So when something like that happens, you need to realize that looking at things in a new light is a good thing. That's spiritually, that's like one of the more important things, to be able to see things from different points of view. The more different points of view you can see things, sort of the more like sort of mental growth you can get. So if something like that happens in that first week, then be sure to sort of learn from that. And although it could be hard to adjust to something that you're not used to, you may have to do that. And that's what this card's about, having to adjust to something that you're completely unexpecting. So expect the unexpected in that first week, pretty much, and learn to deal with that. So the second week, we've got the Moon card. So it seems like the start of this month could be a little bit rocky, because the Moon card is going to mean some sort of error or something unexpected well, okay, the first card was unexpected, but this is going to be more like unexpected as though you made a mistake or an error in something. So something that was supposed to happen that was good isn't going to happen, and sort of the reverse is going to happen. But this is more of a sign than it's actually going to happen. So if you're planning something this month, in that second week, maybe you're starting to plan something, beware that you might have made an error in the planning of it. Go back and check everything. Make sure you've done everything right, because there's a chance that obviously you've stuffed something up. And you might not notice straight away, but further on you'll notice, and that's when things are harder to change. So if you're planning something, trying to start something new, then look at their foundations of it. Make sure you haven't like sort of made an error of anything so far, just because it's going to make things easier if you spot that error now rather than in the future. So moving on to the third week, we've got the Three of Cups. So seems like this could be a time where you spend it with those close to you, those people who you are sort of on the same level emotionally with. All of you are going to get together, have a good time. Now this, for those of you who are going to have a birthday on the 21st, this is probably going to represent some sort of celebration that you're going to have to do that. Even those of you who are sort of born towards the end of the month, this card is probably going to, well, the next card's going to represent that. You'll see it when it happens, but okay, it's going to be towards the end of the month. It's time to spend time with people who are emotionally close to you and those who like mean a lot to you, because obviously that's important, but it's around your birthday. Like, that's a good time for you. It's going to be a good time for the other people, because everyone likes going to people's birthday celebrations. Even if it's not something big, do something little and get everyone together, even if it's just a couple of people, and enjoy yourself, because you got to enjoy life, especially on your birthday. Okay, fourth week. For those other of you who have the birthday in this month, we've got the Four of Wands, which represents a celebration. It can be a card of weddings and engagements and stuff like that, but this is just like a celebration card in general. So it may not be like a massive celebration. This card isn't like about an achievement. It's more a birthday type of celebration. Like nothing's really been achieved on your birthday. Like it's not actually something that, it's not like a celebration of you like getting a new job or anything like that. It's just something that happens every year. But it's an opportunity to have a good time, and may as well have a good time, right? So if you're not thinking of doing something on your birthday, just think about it again and maybe do it. Even though you got this card over here that said you could be sort of like wanting to be alone a little bit. Maybe you are, maybe you aren't. But if that is sort of like starting to come into your mind that you don't want to put in the effort, just do it anyway. Even if you're not going to like think it's the best thing ever, other people like doing stuff. This could be one of the highlights of their like month, going to someone's birthday. I know I always love going to people's birthday. Like I never turn it down. That's me, of course. But if it's your birthday, go and do something. If it's not your birthday, it's going to be your birthday soon. Start planning that, because life should be enjoyed. Here I am just telling everyone to party, but like, why not? Go and have some fun. Okay, these are the two new cards this month, and one's for love, one's for career. So, for love, we got the Page of Cups. So, for single people, this is a sign that sort of, in some way, your ability to show your love or show your emotions isn't as good as it needs to be. You need to find another way to communicate. Maybe, if you're like a really out there person, maybe you sort of get too into showing your love a bit. There's nothing wrong with like showing your love completely, but just, I mean, like, don't let the negative sides of you showing your love sort of appear. Like, try and manage them a bit. It's okay, you've got to like, obviously, let your feelings out and everything like that, but if it's a little bit unreasonable, then try not to sort of go too crazy expressing your emotions a bit too soon. Like, I don't know, you should be yourself, but then again, this card's sort of saying that maybe hold back a little bit and maybe just sort of work on your communication and make sure you know how to sort of be emotionally happy with yourself before you try and get into a full relationship. I pretty much, that's probably the best advice I can give you single people from this card. For those already in a relationship, it means sort of a similar thing. Since it's the cups, it's going to represent emotions and feelings. There's a chance that someone in the relationship's feelings aren't that strong anymore, and that sort of has to be worked on. Like, obviously when you got together it was strong, but maybe it's just faded away over time. Maybe you're drifting apart, or maybe it's just gotten boring, and it's a time to actually sort of spice that up a little bit. But it can also be a sign that someone's not communicating their love as well as they should be. Or not even the love, I'd say. It's just like communicating their emotions as well as they could be. So that can actually take work. Like, I know I never used to be good at communicating emotions. I know I've gotten better over time, but some people just, especially guys, like, I like never used to want to show my emotions, but over time of working on it, I'm fine, but still a lot of guys just don't bother doing that because they don't care about that kind of stuff. And I totally understand that as a guy, but I'm not. I'm not sure if like women understand that, like, yeah, as well as a guy would. But yeah, someone needs to sort of work on sort of communicating something they're feeling, because they're sort of holding that back, and this is a sign to actually try and communicate better when it comes to feelings. So, moving on to the last card for the career. We've got the Five of Cups again. Well, not again, just Cups again. So this card, as we can see, it's someone looking disappointed at the three cups fallen over and not noticing the cups behind them. So there could be something happening this month that's sort of disappointing, but there's a positive side to it too. So if something bad happens, that happens, and just realize that there is a positive side to it. So don't you worry about that. It's not an actual bad card, because like obviously bad things happen. It's not necessarily something major, like it's not saying you're going to lose your job or anything like that, but there could be a setback, and if there is, learn from the mistake and move on. That's all this card's saying. So that is the reading done for the month. If you would like a card for yourself, just comment below, like the video, subscribe, and just if you want it to be out something in particular, just tell me that and I'll happily draw it for you and explain it to you. And thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoyed that.